Yeah, hi Naveen.
Yeah, hi
Good
Akhil.
morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Thanks
Uh,
for joining the call. How is your day?
sure, sure. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Naveen.
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, going good, Naveen. How about you?
Yeah, I'm also good.
Okay, all right. So let's get started then.
Sure.
Yeah. So Naveen, why can't you just brief your current experience and the projects you're working on?
Yeah, okay. I am very thankful to my previous organization. So because of I have learned a lot of things from there. According to me, changes are necessary for everyone to enhance our skills and our growth and as well our career and our financial. I'm honestly self-motivated towards my career and my life. So I worked for a project domain. The client wants to need the data into the Power BI for their management decision. So in this project, my role is I responsible to attend the daily standard meetings to get the business requirement documents to prepare the technical specification. So we have received the most of the times mock is a kind of excel. They will give the all the story about their the project, how many slicer they want, how many visuals they want, what type of visuals and what type of bookmarks, all the story they will give as a user story. Based on that, then we will create as a user story in Azure DevOps portal, which we using the internal like collaboration tool. So in those, based on that, then we will decide for the source connection. Based on the connectivity type, then we will go for the source. So once we connected with a source type, so basically then I used as the PostgreSQL as a source is a databases. Though once we connected the databases, basically only we have received the unclean data, unstructured data. But in the SQL, in the case of my last project, that is the PostgreSQL, but just we used as the views and then we execute that views in the Power BI. Then we go for the direct to Power BI desktop. So where we see the modeling part and then we need to create a visual and all those. But earlier project I worked with either CSV and then Excel files. So when we receive the files that are those are the unstructured file, unclean file, we need to clean the data in a Power Query editor. We use it to some of the transformations, so like use as a first as a header, and then we have the some append and then merge, and we need to clean, we need to split the data, we need to merge the data, we need to like by using the some of the merge concept, and then we need to use the duplicate and then reference table based on the, which are the requirement. Once we clean the data there in the Power Query editor, we push the data into the Power BI desktop where we create the visual and then keep in the modeling part. So of the relationship between the tables, basically in the last project we have the like it is the snowflake schema and then is a direct mode in the connectivity mode. Then once we have checked the which column is to the which table is the relationships, based on that relationship then we have to the start the visualization. So in the visual then we have to prepare like 5 pages in the one report, and like it is the out report, that is the patient out and then patient in the patient in report we have created the 4 reports in the patient report, 4 pages, and then total number of patients, then that is the one of the report, and then after the total true beds, so that is also one of the report which we developed in the 4 reports. Once we have done this report, each report having the multiple pages, like in this project I have a 4 pages report in the each report having the four pages, and each page having the multiple like slicers and then filters. Okay, and then we have the some matrix visual and then table visual, and then some of the cards we use it to indicating that as the like country wise and then like the bid wise and then total sales wise and then total patients wise and the total like emergency cases wise, those then we have put in the one like cards. So once we have give the these though, and then we have put the slicing, so easily slice and dice user. And when we use the filter, so for example we used to like the top 10 who is the top 10 highest patients in the highest operation there in the heart and highest surgery depends upon the based on the operation size. Okay, though like that then we have prepared, and then we used to bookmarks in the first page to navigate one page to another page with a easy navigation to using the bookmarks. So once we have prepared this report, then we need to deploy into the publish into the dev workspace to there the development, and then we will review for the review team and then manager. Once they will give the looks good to me, then we go ahead for the UAT workspace. Once we have done this one, then we may have some already we have in the workspace. In the workspace we need to give the access, then from developer workspace to then we move into the UAT workspace. There then we will review QA team is there, UAT team, then they will check. Sometimes if they're not available, then we check with the database. So for example, we check with the like validate the data from this testing environment. In the once we have done, then we run into the production environment. We change the production environment through one deployment pipelines in the power bi service. Once we have deployment this one, then job will run. And the job, is there any debugs or is there anything, then we need to again, we are working on the debugs and the blocker, then we need to, and we will move into the next sprint. So like that we have to develop, and then we have faced the many of the challenges. To overcome these two challenges, we worked, and then we have to develop these reports in my current project. So this is how about my about me, Kiran.
Okay, okay, cool. So Naveen, like you mentioned, like you are using a PostgreSQL as a data source, right?
Yes.
Apart from that, like, are you connecting to any other different sources apart from
Yeah,
Postgre?
earlier I worked with the CS and Excel, that is a regular scenario earlier, but after that then I worked with the Azure as the data bricks, and then Azure data factory I have connected
Okay,
last
okay,
earlier.
okay. And what is the kind of data you are dealing with?
Yeah, data is we have a last project I used as like five tables in that 2 MB is the fact table, and then below 1 MB five dimension tables.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay, all right. So Naveen, like coming to the Power BI functionality,
Yeah.
like what are the different types of connection modes do we have in Power BI?
So there are three types of connectivity modes. One is the import, and the second is the direct mode. Third is the live connection, and then sometimes we use either source. So like this is the folder as a source we used. But basically there are three types.
Okay. And how many types of cardinality do we have
We have the four types
in
of
data model?
cardinalities, like one to one to many to one, many to many.
Okay, all right. And what do you think, like, which one will be the optimal solution for the dashboarding? Uh,
Uh, I did
I
not
mean,
get you.
no, I mean, depending on the data, like, I mean, the cardinality, obviously, it will, by
Yeah, that
default,
is
it will get
the
selected.
many to one is the suggestible.
Okay. And we have edit interactions feature in Power BI, right?
Yes, edit interaction.
So, oh, yeah, what is its use case, basically? When do we use it?
For example, we have a multiple visuals. For example, four types of visuals we have. So then when we slice one, then we may not interact with this visual, then we apply this particular visual. When you off the edit interaction, then it may not be it should not be like filter this visual when you use the like slicing or something. Then that time, then the case, then we used to use the edit interaction.
Okay. All right. And Naveen, like, are you comfortable with writing DAX functionalities? I mean, DAX queries?
Yes, I use it to like most of the scenarios there where the filtering the some data like actuals, and then what is the like cases scenario, like where the ICU beds is there, then we filter the different like location wise, region wise, sub region wise. So like that, then we need to use the DAX in regular use cases, Kiran.
Okay. All right. And how about parameters? Like, have you ever used parameters in your reports?
Yeah, actually, in the last report I haven't used, but earlier I used to use the parameter. So to like we use the we at that time, then we have the some huge data there like below 1 million record, but we have the different countries of data. So that time then we use it as the parameterization. Then give you, for example, I used to prepare report the one Japan country and then some UK country. So that time then we used to use the parameter. Then we load the data into only the particular country and then develop the report. Because of the users are different, they are the country wise. But multiple, then we used to prepare one dashboard based on these reports.
Okay. All right. And what is RLS? Like, how it
Yeah.
works in Power BI and
Okay. RLS is nothing but the restriction the based on the users. For example, we have a lot of users is there. So then we restrict the data when we giving the applying the row level security. So when we row level security, we apply in the Power BI desktop. When we publish into the Power BI desktop, Power BI service, there we have a data set. Then we will give in a security. Then we have to see the which user. Then we will add those users. Then only they users only see the data.
okay.
Basically there are two types of row level security, static and the dynamic. Most of the time we use it to static row level. So in the some scenarios this we use it to the static row level.
Okay, all right. And I mean, like apart from Power BI, like do you have any knowledge or experience in any other BI tools?
Only reporting tool only I know this Power BI because of I continue work with this Power BI only. But the recent days then I learned for this Azure Data Factory, and then Azure Cosmetic DB, where they store the data, how store the data, like a little bit aware of that one Azure, Kiran.
Okay, okay, fine. And how about SQL?
Yeah, SQL actually, I'm not much more proficient, but I know way to use the, so because of one scenario case, then I used to face the one problem. So like that the one challenge that is it should be. So actually, I don't know whether the Portuguese SQL. I know the some SQL, so how to use the views and store procedure. But when I connected with the Portuguese SQL, so that is the materialized view, the DB level, like the MSDA, that is the user application. From the MSDA, we connect with the Power BI with the Portuguese SQL. There, then we have a
Okay,
some bug is there. So that is the entire the like mm, operations stopped by in the service level. They should not work the like gateways. The
okay,
reason why that is the upgradation of the Postgres SQL, one of the absolute name that is the string. L string is the data type. So when the time I used to, because of I aware of that one, that is the reason, then I worked around 2 to 3 days. I multiple times I executed the query, and I avoid to that situation. I worked around, then the one day evening, then I got stuck with everything. So because of I faced the problem while loading the data into the Power BI, because of recently that last version, the May version, that when we upgrading the version, it not might support to the Power BI. So then we need to change that one. Actually that is a DB level operation, but in the case we have to Power BI as a developer, then we need to rectify the problem. Just we have to modify the query, and then we execute that one, and then we change the all the credential everything, and then we connect it with the service, and then again we need to do the like other gateways that we connect, and then we will run the query. So it will around 5 to 6 hours we've been work. That is one of the challenge in the Portuguese SQL.
okay. All right. And Naveen, like, have you ever involved in developing reports, like migrating from one tool to another? Like, I mean, did you ever got a chance?
No, I ever got a
Say like,
chance to, actually no chance. But the last time is the only the they are migrating the data. MSDI is the one of the application, like this is a SQ something ERP something application. So from those, then
mhm,
we have to develop the one dashboard in the Power BI. So there we will connect with the dashboard to the their MSDI inbuilt option. So then that time, then we have to convert all these data types and everything, and we create some measures, and we create the 4 reports, and the 4 reports into the production environment. Once we deployed there, those reports they connect into the this MSDI. So it is not a MSDI, but it is work with the MSB like Power BI. When we
okay,
work around this in the developing stage, then what are the changes we need to, then we accordingly we need to update there in the service level. So that case then I worked, but I haven't to any under migration work.
fine, yeah, that's fine. All right. Okay, Naveen, I think I'm good for now. Do you have any questions for me?
Okay, thank you, Kiran. Thank you very much. I hope I will be very good chance to you with you, and very nice talking to you.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Naveen. Nice talking to
Okay,
you.
thank you,
Yeah,
Kiran.
HR will get back to you definitely.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Kiran.
Yeah, thanks, Naveen.
Yeah.
Bye.